Freeform this bitch.
Alright.
Let's get it. I'm gonna close that door.
This is my only conclusion for Phasma.
The final solution.
Underlined.
Kind of like Team Rocket versus Ash. Yes. I mean, that's accurate, yeah. Alright, welcome to the latest fucking review video of all time. One entire year after the release of Star Wars Episode 8. I'm a massive Star Wars fan, but I gave up on Star Wars after Episode 7, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I felt like it was a big pandering mess of a franchise. It was just like, let's see how we can get money out of people, not, you know, because what George Lucas did with the prequels was like, people only watched it because it was Star Wars, but that shit was not safe, and they were like, God, I hate this, I hate these movies, but you can really appreciate that he went for it. You know, it was like, these are my ideas. This is like a fucking corporate office came up with a plot.
Yep.
And they were like, what are people bought into for Episode 7? And I couldn't handle that shit. So you convinced me to watch Episode 8.
Yeah.
Because you saw it and it crushed your Star Wars love.
Yeah. Yes, it did. Episode 7 didn't for me, if anything.
Right. I think it was just the corporate thing.
Yeah. If anything, it gave me hope.
Yeah. Like I admitted that it could get better.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't trust it.
It was a setup. I felt like it was a good setup. If anything else.
Yeah.
If anything else.
You fell for the J.J. Abrams mystery box bullshit.
I did.
You did. Everybody does, don't worry. I fell for it when I was 12 and Cloverfield came out. I loved Cloverfield pre-release, and I watched the movie, and I still liked it a lot, but it never paid off on any of the shit he set up. So I watched Star Wars Episode 8, directed by Rian Johnson, the folk singer, I think. He doesn't have a lot of movies. I think he directed something like a couple of years. Oh, Looper. Looper, the movie where I want to make sure that's right before I say that.
I don't know who Rian Johnson is, but I hate him now.
I don't. You hear that, Rian Johnson? Looper, 2012. It's that movie. Yeah, it's Rian Johnson. It's that movie where Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays a guy who kills people for the mafia. From the future, like the mafia will send people back in time to get shot because apparently it's really hard to get a gun or hard to get away with murder in the future, but it's super easy to send people to the past.
Okay. Was it good?
It was alright.
It was alright.
It was like, this is a fun movie with Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah, no, Rian Johnson did that movie, and then all of a sudden people were like, oh, this guy's on the map. This is a solid it was a low budget movie that looked really good and had a fun plot. Everybody was like, damn, look, that kicked ass for a guy who doesn't direct movies very much. So they gave him Star Wars Episode 8, one of the biggest movies of all time, with J.J. Abrams' infamous mystery box setup, where he was like, oh, here's all these things from Episode 7. Who are Rey's parents? Who is Snoke? Will Kylo Ren turn to the light side? Why is he so bad at fighting?
What has Luke been doing on
What has Luke been doing on Nun Island? Like,
what was the place called again?
Fuck me, I don't know. We'll just call it Jedi Temple Land. All right, it's the Jedi Temple.
The light side of Dagobah. That's what I like to call it. Or actually, no, more of a neutral because there is dark side essence things in there.
Yeah, Dagobah was a really neutral place.
No.
It was chaotic.
Dagobah
No, I know you're calling
dark side.
I think Dagobah was a really.
I think it's really dark side. Yes.
I thought it was a really good representation of what nature is really like.
And the place they are here now, I say it's a neutral zone because there is light and there is darkness.
Oh, that weird tunnel
under it, under the island.
Fuck? No, wait. I can't get into it now. It's too early.
Mm-hmm.
But remember to control D this shit for me. Rey goes into that weird tunnel that I thought was a geyser.
No, it's under the island.
It's under the island,
yes.
Right. She goes in and there's like a big cracked ass mirror. And she just kind of sees a million of herself and then finds nothing. Yeah. And that was the scene? That's like the whole scene. What the fuck was that?
I mean, I kind of understand the representation they were trying to go for, but we'll talk about that later.
Right, like she's searching inside herself to find all these answers, and there are no answers because she's blocking the truth out, and the truth is that her parents are fucking nobody, but that's... So Rian Johnson directed Star Wars Episode 8. And really, when it happened, I was super on board with the idea. I'm like, yeah, give it to a fucking not super young, but like relatively unproven, fresh guy. J.J. Abrams is a massively successful director and a really big name in Hollywood. Give Rian Johnson, a little bit of opportunity to create something really creative and interesting, and that's what he advertised. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do some shit you've never seen in Star Wars," but he forgot to say, "We're gonna do some shit you never asked for in Star Wars." So why? Derek, do you know why?
I think some didn't want to watch the world burn.
Some people like
Or maybe
chaos.
Or maybe he tried.
He
And he
tried.
failed. Right?
Yeah.
We're all human.
Yeah, we're all human. Like,
I won't
understand.
forgive you. We're all human.
No, dude, no, you can't do that kind of thing with a multi-billion-dollar franchise, though. You don't just walk up and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna take the second movie, J.J. Abrams' sequel. I'm gonna make a sequel to the J.J. Abrams Star Wars Episode 7. And what I'm gonna do is, here's the thing, I'm gonna make literally nobody happy." What? I didn't like the fan pandering in 7. Like, I'll stand by that forever. I didn't like the fan pandering. But what I think 8 did was it went in the complete opposite direction, where it was just like, what if I took everything that you expected from this movie and I shut it down and I made it different? Dude, no, because sometimes the reason that we expected things was because that was a logical progression. Like, Luke Skywalker being a real Jedi is a logical progression from Episode 6. He's a great guy.
Yes.
He fucking loves his friends, he loves his family, he believes in the future and the potential of all people. So, by making him a complete asshole, you've subverted my expectations, yes.
Most definitely.
But you also didn't give me anything
in
to
return.
be happy about. Yeah, you didn't teach me a lesson, you didn't create some interesting narrative, you didn't compel me to believe something different. All you did was take what I wanted, deep in my soul, I wanted 1983 Luke Skywalker to grow into a really cool dude.
Yeah, he should have become the ideal mentor.
Yes.
Ben and Yoda.
Because he could learn from the mistakes of Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. They literally all of their lives ended in an effort to teach him and the future of, not humanity, I guess, but the future of civilization, right, about how the Jedi Order should work, or how the people should treat the Force, reject Sidious and Plagueis' weird-ass science experiments where they fucked everything up. Just, go ahead and be peaceful with each other and all this, really hyper-Christian shit, I guess, but instead we got, "Go away. Leave me alone. I hate my nephew." Why, though? Why did you do that?
Oh. For the stupidest reason, of course.
Right, what was the reason?
Because that's not Luke anymore. It's, what was it?
Mark
Skywalker?
Mark Hamill said, "I like to think of my character in this movie not as Luke Skywalker, but like an alternate reality, like Jake Skywalker." I'm like, ugh. To hear the man who played millions and millions of people's childhood hero, to hear him say, "Yeah, it's not Luke anymore," just that tells me when I watch this movie, that's why I didn't watch the movie in the first place. When Mark Hamill said all this pre-release shit, I went, no, what? I'm like, okay, I thought after 7 they might get really creative and do cool stuff, but Mark Hamill is saying straight up, at his ripe old age, he's going, "I don't know what the fuck they're doing."
Unfortunately, I did not.
I feel like, yeah, you agree with Mark Hamill.
I did not hear of this news about Mark Hamill. I didn't hear him rag on episode 8 before it was even released.
He said he really likes Rian Johnson. He was like, but I don't know if he means that or he's just saying that. But he was like, "Yeah, no, Ryan's a great guy." But I told him. I read the script and I said, "Buddy, I don't agree with any of this. What is my character doing? Why? I don't think Luke would do these things." And I think that's the crux of the reason this movie fails is, if you've been watching Star Wars your whole life, like we have, if you watch all those movies, Episode 8 is not the conclusion you come to.
Most definitely not.
Episode 8 is just a whole bunch of, hey, why did you fucking do that?
Yes.
It's like, okay, the original trilogy ends in like 1983, I think, is when the last one was released. And then the prequels come out in the 90s, and everybody's like, well, it's not awesome. Like, it's kind of weird. The acting's really cringe. There's a lot of CG in this, and there's a lot of, why are we in the Senate? But at the same time, you're like, yeah, but it really feels like it's in the Star Wars universe. The Star Wars lore is completely intact. They expanded upon it. They explained a lot of shit, and you really feel like you're following the journey of the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
You're understanding why the Jedi Order fell, essentially. It's the rise of Vader and Sidious and the fall of the Jedi Order, and you get that. And then in the new trilogy, 7 is like a realistic, like, oh, okay, well, after Luke did this, for some reason he's gone. You're like, okay, why is he gone? But yeah, I mean, I can see why this shit would happen, but it's like, really, did it need to happen again? Like, this already happened in 4. Well, whatever. You'll do some stuff later.
Yeah, it's a
Episode 8. Episode 8 happens, and it's like, no, wait, no. All of a sudden, I have a lot of questions. I'm like, this isn't Star Wars. This is.
Oh, you had questions in Episode 8? Oh, I was just met with disappointment.
You got answers? You got any answers for me? Okay,
I have a conclusion.
Let's make this an interview then. Derick, why did General Hux get fucking Yo Mama done in the first 2 minutes of this movie?
Because they want to make the villains look stupid. Because, alright, here's what I noticed throughout the entire movie of Episode 8. None of the villains feel like actual villains.
Right, they're like cartoon characters.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And people, I mean, Star Wars is not like, oh, the most mature adult content in the world, of course, but you never didn't take the villain seriously. You always took the villain seriously. Darth Vader shows up in like the 5th minute of A New Hope.
Yep.
And he walks in and he's like, get me the fucking princess, kill everybody on the ship. Like,
exactly.
And you're like, whoa, well, holy shit. And he like follows through. He like almost chokes out his own daughter. You didn't know it was his daughter at the time. But, like, he fucking kills Ben Kenobi. And then the Emperor shows up in 5 just as a hologram. He's completely serious. And you're like, oh, shit. You got Grand Moff Tarkin is like just this really scary looking old dude. And they're telling Darth Vader, like, your ancient religion is bullshit. And he chokes him. He's like, oh, it's bullshit? It's like, you're like, okay, these dudes are hella serious. And I wouldn't fuck with them. You could not pay me to fuck with them. The rebellion's insane. With this, I felt like the rebellion was a bunch of school kids playing with their teachers.
Yeah. Especially with
Hux is an idiot!
Yes, and like, in addition to that, like, after his failure, and then with Snoke, like, projecting himself there.
He did a dolphin dive across the fucking stage.
Yes, like, you don't do that to a commanding officer in front of, like...
No. Like, Snoke, like, right there, like, Snoke's whole character kind of falls apart.
Yes.
The second he shows up on screen. Like, in Episode 7...
Also,
like, I can shit on JJ all I want. He knows what he's doing. JJ Abrams knows how to direct a very satisfying movie. The only problem is it's, like, kind of hollow, and he never gives you, like, everything. He makes the mystery, and that's why you love him. You love the mystery. He doesn't pay it off. But he can make a fucking movie. He's a great action director. All that stuff is true. I don't think Rian Johnson's a good director. I haven't seen Looper. I should watch Looper. But why would the main villain, who's supposed to be this terrifying guy, like, do that to the commanding officer of his military?
Yeah, in front of everyone.
To the whole bridge.
Like,
the whole bridge was there.
You devalue us doing that. Like,
why?
He becomes a joke character.
Yeah, he's a gag
People
character.
in the theaters laughed.
Yeah, because I remember Episode 7. I liked Hux a lot. And I told you that. We started watching the movie, and I said, man, I like Hux, though. And you were like, yeah, I'm cool with Hux. And then the first thing that happens is they treat him like an idiot. Like, the first thing. I'm like, wait, was he an idiot in 7?
No,
and I'm
he was
like,
cool. He was the cool guy in Episode 7.
Yeah, he was like the scary commanding officer. He did that whole Nazi rally thing on the snow planet.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, we're gonna fuck him up! And everybody's like, yeah!
Like,
I was like, whoa, okay. Alright, because, you know, Star Wars, not so thinly veiled Nazis versus allies type thing.
Yeah.
Like, you got this super diverse group of aliens and humans coming together to fight this one-note stormtrooper army, and they have literally, stormtroopers is a fucking Nazi thing, and they have Nazi helmets on, and you're like, oh, okay, not subtle at all, but we're all cool with it. Very easy, good versus evil thing. But And they went, with Hux, they went full on fucking Adolf Hitler fist-slamming speeches and shit. And you're like, that guy's fucking scary.
Yes.
That's terrifying. If that was real, Hux, if he was real after episode 8, I'd be like, you wanna get the fuck out of my house? Like if Hux's Nazis came to my house and they were like, hey, get over here, you fucking brown boy, I would have been like, no, you get the fuck out of my house. And he just gets treated so bad.
So like,
wait, wasn't Snoke wearing when you watch episode 7, right, he's a hologram and he's like 20 feet tall.
Yes, and you can't see any coloration, so...
he's blue.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be a gold robe.
Yeah. It's like he's flexing on everyone.
He's got a gold robe.
Yeah.
And he doesn't wear anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his feet. But I want to say he was wearing slippers.
He's like a pimp. He dresses like a pimp. I just realized this.
And his face is cut open. And you're like, okay, who the fuck are you, dude? Because you're doing some shit, man. You're like the boss. Like, I saw him do that to Hux. I'm like, okay. I didn't have the villain's complaint yet because I was like, okay, fine. What if Snoke is just that badass?
Mm-hmm. Like, he's like flexing his powers, you know?
Yeah, it was like, oh, he doesn't need Hux to have value because he is so in charge. Everyone's so scared of him that when he says Hux is in charge, they're just like, fuck it. Okay, he's right. Hux is in charge. Right, but then you get the Snoke scene, the one Snoke scene. 2 Snoke scenes? Well, he tells Kylo to take the fucking helmet off.
Yeah, that's
which I didn't like because I like Kylo's helmet. But that's the personal.
I didn't like that one.
Yeah, you didn't like it. I was a fan of the Kylo helmet thing because it was like, to me, it made him more interesting. It was like this thing where he wasn't confident. He was a really self-conscious loser type of a guy on the inside. But what he portrayed was not that. Like he tried to act tough and strong, but he knew inside he wasn't good enough. So he tried to act like Darth Vader. And that was what made him interesting to me. He was like this young guy who didn't know what he was doing and was stuck in this really fucking awkward position where his whole family is like, they think he's evil, and he thinks he's evil because the bad guy tricked him into being evil. And he's just fucking stuck. So he starts acting like grandpa. He doesn't... But when he takes off the mask and they tell him, oh, the mask is dumb and you're dumb and everything you believe in is dumb. Goes,
I mean, at least now...
What the fuck?
I mean, at least he has a scar to show that, oh, I'm evil.
I liked the big scar, yes. I'm a sucker for scars and capes. I mean, Star Wars. You got a scar and a cape? There we go. You're a bad guy.
Exactly.
Chicks dig the cape, bro. Like, I just don't think that... I just don't think that they had it for the villains this time, man.
In fact, now that I think about it, I don't think there's not a single character they didn't ruin in episode 8.
Oh, you can go down the line. Oh, Leia.
Ruined.
Look, rest in peace, Carrie Fisher and all that.
Yes.
Like, for sure. I mean, like, she had a troubled past with drugs and all that. And her mom was super famous. Like, ridiculously. She was, like, singing in the rain or some shit. So she was, like, raised in Hollywood. She didn't do a good job in this movie. I heard she helped write part of it or something like that. She did not do a good job in this movie. Her character is, like... She slaps Poe and tells him he's demoted, and then 2 seconds later he's like, permission to do exactly what you just said not to do? She's like, yeah, go fucking do it. What? There's no tension. There are no consequences in this fucking movie. Admiral Akbar?
Admiral Akbar.
He's in
they
one
threw
scene.
him away.
He's in one scene and then he dies.
They're going down the list. That's another one.
Oh, Lando's gonna fucking die next. Watch, they're gonna bring back Lando. Kill him.
The past must die.
Or maybe they won't kill Lando because
he's...
I don't want to say it, dude. I don't want to say it, man. They haven't gotten on the list to all the other people yet, but I mean, they kept Leia alive the longest. Why? Because in the original trilogy, most people loved Luke and Han because it was originally marketed more towards young boys. And Star Wars has gone really far away from that narrative to the point where you see Kathleen Kennedy in a shirt that says the Force is female. Like, okay, I'm cool with that, but you killed Luke Skywalker in the middle chapter of your trilogy for, like, with no real reasoning behind it. You didn't give him a satisfying ending. Han had a more satisfying ending.
Yeah,
like, at
I
least
agree with that.
I really liked the ending for Han because I know Harrison Ford does not want to do Star Wars movies. He hates it. He thinks it's stupid. But he did enough acting in 7. He he tries to change his son in a very Star Warsy way
Yeah.
on a bridge with no handrails. He's just like, come on, bro, don't do this. Come on, man, it'll be okay. But then he gets stabbed. You're like, oh, this is such a space opera moment, dude. This is so Shakespearean.
Yeah.
This is such a dramatic thing, and you're like, okay, I love it. And with Luke, you're just like, so he was a coward. He was a coward. He had an X-wing.
Yeah.
Just gone down there. Could just gone all the way down there and fucking fought.
And he's definitely not out of shape. Like, whoever argues
You
against
saw that shit where he was like jumped on that big ass pole,
Mm-hmm.
and it turned out to be a fishing spear. He's not disconnected from the Force.
Uh-huh.
He's not disconnected from the Force. You can't do that shit without the Force. Like randomly just hitting a fish from 50 feet up on a cliff. And then he force pulled some stuff, and when he was fighting Rey,
Yeah.
and she pulled out the lightsaber like a dick.
Yeah.
He falls down and he pushes himself up with the Force so he doesn't hurt his back.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, clearly he has Force powers
Yes,
still.
he definitely knows how to fight. Like,
Yeah, especially like you see him fight Kylo as an astral projection. He still has to be aware of how shit works.
Yeah.
Like he knows how to fight. He could probably be Kylo one-on-one right now in the old man body. Yoda was like 900 when he fought.
yeah, but that's like...
Yeah, that's
human.
yeah, I know, but I mean like I'm saying as a Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Like Jedi stuff.
Yeah, you have an old man body. Yoda had an old man body, dude. He was like limping and shit. But you're a Jedi. You use the Force to bolster yourself, and you get shit done.
Mm-hmm.
Like Darth Vader, any normal human being, supposedly in Darth Vader's suit, would have just died of pain. Like, it hurt to live in that suit. Like he had no limbs, and it was constantly hurting him or some shit. And,
It fuels his dark side.
yeah, but like it basically fuels him by putting him in eternal pain. You make it easier for him to stay evil.
Oh yeah. Speaking of like suits of and internal pain, apparently the guards of Snoke,
Yeah.
their suits give them pain.
To make him mad.
Yeah.
I think they're called the Praetorian Guard.
Yeah. Apparently the Praetorian Guard's armor is like, I read it somewhere.
It
Like,
digs into their skin.
yeah, something like that.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they're not even Force users. Like, that's
Oh, they're
just
just
mean
not.
to them.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so they can't defend
I mean,
themselves from that.
yeah.
Maybe that explains why that guy fell down
Hmm?
in the middle of the fight. When nobody touched the Praetorian Guard, he just falls.
Uh-huh.
It's like, wow, oh, great, that was awesome.
Like, those guys are cool.
They looked really
Yeah.
sick. Like, man, I don't. Can you imagine this movie in the hands of like a guy who really just wanted to make the next great Star Wars movie? Where he's
Mhm.
like, oh, look at all this shit we could do with the lore. Look at all this old Republic stuff we could bring back for the religion. Like that's what really upset me about Luke's storyline was. Okay, you put Luke in an ancient Jedi temple,
Yep.
and he went in there and he came out with nothing. There's like no ancient knowledge he could have used, no secret technique. The astral projection thing was a secret technique, I assume, because nobody's ever done it. But
Uh-huh.
why was that his trump card?
Why does that ability kill you? Like,
Yeah, I would love to know if he was just so out of shape and old that it killed him, or
That's
is
what
it,
I like to believe.
he touches Leia, but then he's intangible later on in
Yeah.
the fight, and I don't understand if that's because he wanted to be intangible, or touching Leia was bullshit, and he didn't really touch Leia. No, it's just a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's just a bad movie with a lot of plot inconsistencies. Like, have we even talked about the goddamn parking the ship on the beach?
Well, can we talk about the commander first?
Who?
Who was the second command? The purple-haired lady. What was her name again?
Fucking Vice Admiral Holdo or some shit.
Yes.
I might be making up the Vice Admiral part.
I don't know. But she's a big issue for me.
Yeah.
The fact that she didn't tell anyone about her plans.
I've seen a lot of crazy people. Alright? I've seen a lot of crazy people. She looked like a crazy person.
I agree
The
with
way
that.
she was talking down to Poe, and she was like smiling in the really weirdest parts of her sentences, and you were just like, why? Why are you not more concerned with like what you're doing right now? Also, all you have to do is tell us that you have a plan. And she was like, she made up some weird thing about hope. So it was like the night is always darkest before the dawn type shit.
Yeah.
It was like, lady, no, just tell me, hey, don't worry about it. I have a really, really secret plan. I will execute the plan. Don't worry about it. Poe would have been like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
All right. But the second I don't believe in the plan anymore, I'm fucking bailing. She'd be like, cool, that's fine.
I mean, Poe did discover the plan, like...
No, but he discovered only half the plan.
Yeah, half the plan.
He discovered the part where they bailed on transport ships.
Half the truth.
Yeah, but she wouldn't just tell him the whole truth. Why?
Like...
Who was gonna stop her from doing that shit?
We'll talk about... actually, let's talk about it right now. One thing that could have made it better, like, I've seen, like, some people talk about it online, it's like, introduce, like, a spy. Like, introduce, like, a spy plot. A spy plot into it. So then...
some Splinter Cell shit.
So then, like...
Some Sam Fisher.
The reason why, like, they don't know the reason why, they could be tracked through light speed, right? So
right, you know what? They never went into that.
Yeah. So, but then they went straight to, oh, they have a detector on board. That's clearly the reason. But then, if they expanded on that, add in, like, a spy, like, there could be a spy on board, like,
yeah, you could have a
information like
you
that.
could have a sleeper cell.
Mm-hmm.
Really easy. It would be way better than what they did. But they were just like, oh, you can't track through light speed. They must have developed a new technology to track through light speed.
Like,
And it's science fantasy. It's not science fiction. Star Wars is science fantasy.
Mhm.
There's magic and shit everywhere. But the most reasonable explanation is that somebody is telling them where you are,
yeah,
or they have a tracker on your ship.
yeah.
Where the fuck were we on that Holdo shit, dude? Vice Admiral Holdo can suck my ass.
This is the second time of me watching this movie. So,
First time.
like, after I watched it the first time, right? I had my moment of rage.
Your initial reaction.
Yes.
I remember. What was it? December of last year.
Mm-hmm.
You were just like, I can't believe what they've done. It was like, all I saw was web evidence and shit, dude.
So then, like, of course, like, it's been like a year. 1 year later.
You haven't cooled down.
Yeah, I
I
have
gotta
not.
say, it's kind of amazing how you haven't cooled down.
I have not, but it's kind of common, except when Avengers came out.
Oh, when Avengers came out?
Yeah,
Why?
when how Squidward died.
Hey, Squidward deserves better.
Yeah,
Fucking
and Leia.
That guy was just like, what is it, annoy Squidward Day already? Robert Downey Jr.'s like, no, silly, that's tomorrow. Fucking.
Anyways,
Man.
so after I watched the movie, obviously, I would go onto other YouTube videos and see what other people think and like what other people think how to fix the movie, right? And I came upon that spy plot. So then I feel like that fixes the vast majority of the movie.
I feel like
And then rewatching it with that perspective in mind, like it really does. So then when you saw Finn escaping from the escape pod, right? Like,
wait, are you talking about when he tried to bail?
Yeah, he tried to bail.
Rose got mad at him.
Yes, like
even though all he was really gonna do was help Rey.
yeah. From my perspective, after like seeing all the discussions, right? I thought Rose was gonna think that he was a spy.
Yeah, I think that it would have helped the plot a lot if Rose, because Rose should not have trusted Finn.
Mm-hmm.
She like immediately goes back to being nice to him after she tases him.
Yeah.
And that's just really confusing because if you just tase the guy because you thought he was deserting the resistance,
Mm-hmm.
why are you being nice to him like 5 minutes later in screen time? It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Also, in addition to that, Rose didn't realize that they could be trapped at light speed.
Yeah,
she didn't know
dude,
about
the
that.
thing already happened.
Yeah.
We had this discussion on the bridge.
Like the crew didn't news doesn't spread that fast. Like
or like
not
she
everyone.
wasn't, because there were a lot of people on the bridge of the ship when they announced that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Rose is just a fucking loser who doesn't show up to meetings because her sister's dead.
Or maybe she's just not important enough.
Rose's sister should have lived and Rose should have died.
Yeah, at least we would have a pretty face to look at.
Sexist! Bad guy! I agree with you. Okay, Canto Bite is the weirdest Rian Johnson decision that I can think of,
Mm-hmm.
but only because like you could have made this movie 2 hours long, maybe hour 50.
How long was
He
the
made
movie
it
again?
2.5 hours long. It was like 2.5 hours long almost.
We cut off the entire Kanto arc and add in something completely different. Anything but like going away. Like the moment like they brought up like, all right, we're gonna have to leave the ship
Yeah.
and like do something else. Like, is that really a good idea when the friends are like?
I feel like watching this movie made me think nothing is happening in Star Wars, and that's a really weird fucking thing to feel. Like, okay, I just watched a 2.5 hour long movie, and I just don't feel like fucking anything is happening. Snoke is dead, but you didn't make me give a shit, so he didn't affect the plot ever. He never affected the plot.
I mean, he kind of did with the Force.
Well, he made them talk. He made them online date. He fucking got them Match.com. But he did that shit, and he was like, "Oh, I did that shit. It was me." And then he gets fucking killed, and you're like, wait. You're telling me that you were smart enough to see that coming, and smart enough to do that,
Mm-hmm.
powerful enough to do that,
Yeah.
but you're fucking so stupid that your own apprentice can kill you by turning on a lightsaber that you left right next to you. And he was closing his eyes, and he's like, "Oh, I see the future."
It's like, I can see your intent.
It's like, "Oh,
I mean, he wasn't wrong.
I see his every intent." And he was like, "Oh, he's gonna kill his worst enemy." And he's like, "Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Look right. Peripheral will get you." Like enough. You're like, "Oh, that shit's moving, dude."
I mean, I can see your monitor or your.
You can see that from there?
I can see your computer.
Yeah, I can see the light blinking on the battery charger
Mhm.
from here. It's like, if he wasn't like orgasmically creaming his own robe over that moment, he wouldn't have died. Like, the fact that he dies is a goddamn atrocity.
I mean, the way he quoted it, it feels like as if he knew it was coming,
Yeah.
you know? Like, you can strike down your true enemy.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're like, "Oh wow, this is so deep." You're like watching that movie, you're like, "Oh, yeah, I see what you're doing there. It's so clever." But really, you're just like, the whole time I saw that scene, the first time I ever saw that scene, I was watching. I was like, he's gonna turn the lightsaber and kill Snoke, isn't he? Like, it was so telegraphed.
Mhm.
There was nothing interesting about it. It wasn't
Exactly
like,
how I felt the first time, too.
and you don't really feel like Kylo and Rey give a shit about each other. They're both just, it's like a dick measuring contest, bro. They're just like, "You're evil." It's like, "No, Rey, you're really evil, and you're an idiot." The movie's so immature like that. It's just constant bickering. Everyone's bickering. Poe's fucking fighting Holdo, and Leia, and Finn, and Rose are getting into arguments about what's fucking heroic and what's not heroic. Not arguments, actually, more like she's an idiot who does terrible things and nearly kills both of them. It's just a very large series of adult people doing stupid things, and it's never what I've seen Star Wars as. I don't think that's what Star Wars is intended to be. It's a space opera. It's a big Shakespearean drama in space, and it's supposed to be this intense, like religious, political fucking mishmash of all of this type of stuff. It's supposed to be very dramatic and very relatable, and none of that happens. It's like a comedy. I'm telling you, like the way it's shot, the way the actors are told to work. The guy who plays Hux, I don't know his name. I'm sorry. Like, he got this permanent, like, fucked up look on his face, like, "I don't like it. I don't like it." And you're like, "What? That's a comedy face. He's kidding." Snoke is
that matches back to these villains. You can't take them seriously.
I can't. Snoke shows up, and he's wearing a gold robe, and he's
a pimp.
He's
a
like,
pimp.
his skin is like purple almost. He's so.
I mean, I don't mind like his face and everything.
He's
Like
a ball sack, dude.
it's kind of like it gives history. His face,
Yeah,
if anything.
yeah. But I mean, like, you remember.
But his outfit does not.
He looked like Goldmember. Fucking, I was almost waiting for him to go like, "You want a schmuck on a pancake?" Like, no, no, get out of here! I don't want you. Like, people, I can't stand it when people apologize for this shit. Where they're like, "Oh, no, it's fine. He's he's just different than the Star Wars villains you're used to. What are you gonna cry about fucking people changing shit? No. I'm going to call you out and criticize when you make terrible decisions that take the tension out of your story. It's a space opera. It's supposed to have a lot of tension. I'm supposed to think that the villain is a really strong, bad guy who's going to make terrible things happen. And in the end, he's not.
Yeah.
He just isn't.
The entire Snoke scene, like, the first few parts of it, not the end. Like, like when he's flexing on, like, Rey and Kyle.
Oh yeah, he's just like,
get
out of here. You get out of here.
I love that. He demonstrates such power.
Right,
and he dies to a stupid mistake. Really?
He dies to hubris, which is really weird in the Star Wars universe. You're just like, okay, usually when somebody's got really cocky and they can't back it up, they're young. They're Anakin Skywalker. They're Luke Skywalker. They're Han Solo. They're cocky because they're fucking young and they're gonna get better. God. Anakin, in episode 3, when he becomes the bad guy, is cocky only because he's still the same dumb Anakin we always knew.
Yep.
Though we knew and loved. Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker, where he's like, I can overthrow him. We're together, we can rule the galaxy. And she's like, no. Anakin, you're going down a path that I can't follow. Not because it's really hard, but because it's stupid. And why would I want that?
What do you feel about the theories that people say that
Snoke is Mace Windu.
Yep.
Okay, he has blue eyes, so it's not. Just throwing that out there. It's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy. Which, okay, I don't have any more conspiracy theories about hating white males. But yeah, I mean, it's a. I don't want to say he's Trump-esque or whatever, but it's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man who is the new emperor, which is weird because I remember Darth Sidious was like bluish gray with yellow eyes and a red bags.
Speaking of which, Snoke doesn't have Sith eyes.
Snoke's not a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Supposedly he's not a Sith Lord. Supposedly he's not Darth Plagueis.
No, like, I want to know his story so badly.
Everyone wants to know his story. It's the whole reason we keep watching is because we want the answer to some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hoping desperately, episode 9, Snoke's not dead.
He better
Give me that. Give me that at least. He's not dead. Put him back. Make him alive.
I'm actually Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, it turns out I am the one who taught Darth Sidious everything, and I know all this shit about cheating death, and I let you think you killed me because I had a plan. It's like, okay, cool. All is forgiven, but I don't think they're gonna do that.
Because they gave him a stupid hag-out face when he was dead.
Hag-out face?
I mean, that's the only thing I can describe it.
His tongue wasn't out. It was not. That's gross. Why is that in our Star Wars discussion?
I know. Because it's in the movie.
Yeah, we're done weeaboos, as you can see. Captain Phasma is a character that was devised to sell children's toys.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Wait, really? Wait.
What do you mean? What do you mean, really? Dude, Captain Phasma doesn't do anything in episode 7.
Yeah, oh.
The character was, like, marketed before the movie came out.
I didn't know about that.
They did. Yeah, they marketed this character with the pre-release toys and shit, and the commercials always had, like, one shot of Phasma. And she never did anything in the movie, which kind of sucks, because the actress that plays her is actually very talented. But they just didn't do anything with it, and it was like, oh, so it's the new Boba Fett. It's that character that looks really cool, but the director just, or the writer just doesn't care. They're like, I can't fit them in the story. Phasma comes into this movie again, and then, like...
Only to lose.
Only to lose horribly. Like, she just gets blown out by Finn. Like, she beats his ass. Like, to be fair, for like a whole 30 seconds, she's beating his ass. And that was like, I was like, yes, continue doing that. Beat him to death. Finn needs to die in this movie. Again, I'll come back to that, but Finn needed to die in this movie. He became useless.
His arc was over.
His arc was over.
Right after episode 7.
He had done what he needed to do. He got Rey from the start line to the... From before the race to actually in the race. Now Rey's character can go do things because Finn showed up. But he doesn't have anything left to do.
Yep.
And he knew that. The character knows that.
His mission is done.
The character understands, he's like, okay, this is the moment where I can do the last thing that I can do for all these people. I can save everybody by blowing up the battering ram laser. And just fucking, there we go. Now we can escape. And then Rose ruins the movie. Hey, look, we don't hate you. because you're Vietnamese or because you're fat. Vietnamese guy, fat guy. Alright, we don't like you because you suck, dude, because you fucking blow. In the movie. I don't know about real life. Maybe you're cool. I don't know. But in the movie, your character is garbage. And your sister was cuter. But
Are they actually sisters?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
They're actually sisters because you can tell by the.
I mean, like sisters.
Oh, real life?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. They didn't look very similar. I see. I'm not. Unlike you, Disney. I'm not racist. All right? I know that two Vietnamese girls aren't related just because they're two Vietnamese girls. Like, why did they think it was cool for her to, like, crash into Finn's ship, stop him, and go, "Oh, we're not gonna win by fighting what we hate, but protecting what we love." Like, bitch, those are the same thing. It's war.
Are they trying to fit an agenda into my Star Wars right now?
This was about believing that it was okay to stop a man from doing a very reasonable sacrifice. It's okay to stop this guy because you have a crush on him. Like, what?
It was a low risk and high reward.
Yeah, we lose one guy who has no skill set, and then everybody lives. like, yeah, I understand it's human life, and you're like, you're sad that your friend is dead, but you know what? He did the right thing. He's a hero. He's absolutely a hero. But
like, because of the fact that Finn is now alive, like, I honestly don't know what to do with it. Or I don't see a direction he could possibly go anymore.
straight to hell.
I guess.
I'm sorry.
But that was denied. He was denied.
Yeah, I know. He just wanted to ascend, bro. He was like, you know what? I see it. I see the truth. I see the light. I know what I must do. And then she rams into his speeder with her speeder, which could have killed both of them. Think about that. That's unsafe as fuck.
She had to catch up to his speeder, which means she's going hella freaking fast.
Yeah, she was moving at ludicrous speed. She was like, oh, I'm going to go turn around. Oh, Finn's still going straight. And then she came in from the side, which means she beat his ass, by the way. If this was a race, she destroyed him. She's like, fucking Finn's going, and then she's going, and then she's going back, and she's like, oh wait, nope. Fucking that's a massive destruction right there. Which means they should both be dead. Yeah. And she was the one who got knocked out, and he was fine.
I know.
Because he's the one who got blindsided, so... Yeah.
He dragged her all the way back to the base.
And he didn't shoot him!
Yeah.
He didn't shoot him! Man, because he was like, oh, I want you to fire every gun we have at that old guy. Why? Because he's old.
Because I will again. Kylo Ren as the Supreme Leader, huh? It's just like, as if the original villains weren't like, we didn't care about them enough. Now that Kylo Ren is the Supreme Leader, it's like, are you trying to make the villains worse than cartoon characters? Like, what's the tier below that?
They're very easily worse than cartoon characters. No, I'm not kidding. Like, Supreme Leader Snoke. Not only is Snoke a fucking hilarious. I hear Snoke and I giggle. I won't lie. You know, you want to go outside and get a Snoke? like, what, dude? What are you doing? No, I don't. But just the way he's dressed, the way he talks, he's so weird, and he's just like, oh yes, because you're stupid, and I'm smarter than you, and I saw it coming. Like, he's really doing this shit. He's like telling him, he's like, oh, I'm so smart. Snoke is just.
I'll flex on you everywhere.
He's like, you are fucking dumb. Here's why. Also, I want to make you flyer in the room. Give me.
Which isn't bad.
Give me all the information. ¿Quién es Sombra? Let's just boil it down, dude.
The way he died.
Oh my god. Luke dies. Like a loser. Fucking, what's his name? Supreme Leader Snoke dies like a loser. This is after both of them flexed really hard, by the way.
Yeah.
And they just die for some reason. Rey's parents are nobody. Oh,
let's talk about that.
There's the next one. Rey's parents are nobody. Are we gonna forget about all the Star Wars? We forget about all the other Star Wars movies? Really?
The Force is strong in my family.
Yes, the Force is strong
Quote,
in this one.
Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
Skywalker.
fuck were we saying?
Let's talk about Rey and how she's a Mary Sue.
Oh. Roll credits in the video. Right? The whole thing sounds really sexist when you boil it down. When you boil it down, our complaints sound really sexist. It's not because they are sexist. It's just because
it's just that's not how the Force works.
It's not even how the Force works so much as it is. That's not how narrative works. You don't just make a character and say, "Hey, you have this established universe with all these beloved characters and this whole lore." Like you said, Star Wars has this very deep lore. It's very beloved. People love the history of the Jedi versus the Sith, the Republic, the Senate, all that stuff, dude. So much deep, rich history, and you just throw this character in the newest segment of the story, and you say, "Hey, guess what? She's better than everyone who's ever come before," and it's really hard to swallow. You know, you're just like, okay, but or fucking raise your hand. And you're like, okay, but why though? And they go, "What do you mean why? Is it not okay? Is it because she's a girl? Huh? You're not okay with it because she's a girl?" No, I'm not okay with it because you saw all these characters put in this huge amount of work to become this good, you know? Even Anakin, as the chosen one, like, he wasn't good enough to do what he was supposed to do when he was younger. And he constantly made mistakes, and he was like, he killed an entire tribe of sand people in rage because they killed his mom. I mean, that's a thing that you might overreact to. But yeah, he had all these weaknesses that culminated in him making the hugest mistake ever and murdering his own wife and a bunch of kids and all the Jedi left in the world. And Rey comes in, especially after Luke's arc. You know, Rey is just so unforgivable. Rey is an unforgivably poorly written character, and you know why, so you're going to tell me.
Mary Sue? Or
why,
what?
Yeah, why is she so bad? Go ahead, give it to me. I can take it.
Okay.
Boy.
Alright. First of all, as we established, right, the fact that she comes from nothing. Like, are they trying to pull, like, another Anakin or something? Like,
yeah, we're like
she's like
secretly
just spawned from the Force again. I mean,
right,
then that would make sense that when she was inside, like, that little mirror, or the mirror under the island,
yeah,
that it shows only herself. I mean,
because she is the Force.
maybe the Force is a female.
You cannot create a character for whom there are no obstacles. Alright, and Rey is a character who has no obstacles. Or at the very least, the obstacles that she's presented with are just not of any consequence to her. You give her a challenge and she goes, okay, it's done, now what do I do next? That's not good. There's nothing challenging about the story. Like, if the hero doesn't go through anything, then how am I supposed to care when they succeed or when they fail? Plot twist, she never fails. Like, but it's not like Luke is perfect. Not like Rey. Rey's perfect. It's so sad to watch a character just go, oh, okay, I'm gonna beat the shit out of Kylo Ren, who's... And that's why the whole fight, by the way, episode 7, the fight doesn't work for me. I thought it was the worst lightsaber duel in the entire series.
Yeah, at least it was a lightsaber duel.
At least it wasn't episode 8's lightsaber duel.
There was no lightsaber duel.
Okay.
Besides the flashback.
Okay, but that Seven Samurai's shit at the end was almost good, and then it was not because it turned out he wasn't there.
Yeah.
But you know, when they fight in the forest in episode 7, I really wanted to love it. I did. But it just was such a clusterfuck of who do I like? I don't agree with anybody here. You're all being stupid, and none of you could fight with a lightsaber. I'm watching you.
Yeah. Choreography.
Like, the choreography was really bad. After George went out of his way to like get kendo specialists to work on the choreography for the first 3 movies, get ridiculous levels of like choreography done,
which is super cool.
Yeah, for the prequel trilogy, I actually love that shit because what it is it's a representation of an era prior to the downfall of the Jedi, where the Jedi had this whole training system in place. And the Sith had the rule of 2, so there were only 2 Sith at the time. So they were immensely powerful. These guys were like fucking jacked. The Sith were Chads. They were so strong. He was a really strong general, though.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Huckster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I hate Hux now. I liked him, too. I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just... They really jumped the shark.
They really did.
Oh my god, I can't stand what they've done to this series of films.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. When your characters don't struggle, I can't root for them. I'll just boil it down to that.
Right. When you have an entire bundle of characters that have rich history, and you just smash it through the ground.
Throw them all away.
Yeah.
Yeah, put them in the garbage. Like, I would really, really love Rey's character if maybe the actress was better. No offense to Daisy Ridley, but sure, she's not very good at acting. She has 2 faces and 1 voice. It's really bad. Like, if the actress did a better job and the character had a real motivation and she didn't have, like, the ability to do whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted, I would root for her. Like with Luke. Luke was easy to root for because you were like, God damn, dude, your whole world just got tossed upside down, bro. You were living on your moisture farm with your aunt and uncle, and they just burned to death. And you have to go hang out with this dirty old space wizard who says he knows your dad, but you're like, I don't really fucking know. And he hands you a lightsaber, and you're like, oh, fuck, I guess, okay, you gotta be legit. You got a laser sword. And some guy at a bar tries to kill you, and then the dude cuts off his arm, and you're like, okay, this teenage boy is going through some shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? And then the fucking mentor dies, and a princess kisses him, and you're like, okay, what the fuck? You're like, okay, he had an arc. A lot of things happened to him. He got better, but in a lot of ways he got worse because he started becoming too cocky, or he was unsure of himself and he was imbalanced. And Rey is the new Luke, and she doesn't have any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a character who was imperfect. That's what we got with Anakin and Luke. Anakin was clearly fucking crazy.
Not only did they give a character like Rey the perfectness of that, but then like, as we've said before, you talk about like Luke with he's a fully fledged Jedi. And you expect more from that. You expect him like after episode 6.
Hey, don't make me sad. Don't make me sad again about this shit.
Yes.
Where Luke literally becomes useless.
Yes, but that's like the core thing.
I think at the end of the day, the thing that you and I are the most mad about in this, particularly episode 8, what makes episode 8 so insulting, and the reason I'll never accept, like, I'll never watch this movie again. I can tell you that right now. I'm never going to watch this movie again of my own free will. If somebody really, really, really wants to watch it, and I'm around, I'll be like, fine, but I'm not going to fucking look at it. I'm not going to pay attention to it. I'm never going to give Disney an ounce of my money for Star Wars ever again. I'll watch Marvel movies and I'll watch Disney Pixar movies. I will never ever watch Star Wars as long as it's owned by Disney. Because they took... And Mark Hamill's getting up there in age.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Hamill's not going to be around 20 years from now, probably. Or he won't be able to act 20 years from now. They took one of the most beloved characters in modern history and they made him a bastard. They made him weak and cowardly, and they turned all of his morals around, and they made him somebody who needed to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really insulting. You know, like, I know they didn't fucking come to my house and go, "You're an idiot for liking Luke Skywalker. Here now he's weak. Don't you fucking hate it?" I know they didn't come attack me, but it really feels like they did. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Like Mark Hamill said, it's a new generation of Star Wars.
It's not the same. Of course it's not. It's not the same. But I like... It's fair. Like when Kylo says let old things die, I'll let Star Wars die. I don't need it anymore. Like, it's over. You know? I'm cool with that. I can accept that. I got my 6 movies. I'm done.
Mm.
What, are you accepting that?
I mean, I still want to see it through to the end. Like one last round, or...
One last ride into the sunset?
Exactly.
I think that was episode 3, dude.
Oof.
You don't want to accept that?
I don't. Like, I want to see... I want to
think
see the light at the end of this dark, very dark tunnel.
That scene in episode 3 where Luke goes to Tatooine and he gives Uncle Owen baby Luke, and they play the Force theme as Obi-Wan like fucking looks off into the twin suns, and that's the end of Star Wars to me. Now, Star Wars as a universe is it's very interesting. I agree. The lore is riveting shit, dude.
And that's why I want to see more.
Okay, what do you want to see out of the movies?
Like,
because I'll say this right now.
right.
All I want out of Star Wars from now on,
Mm-hmm.
I want a trilogy on the Old Republic versus the old Sith Lords, like Darth Bane or something like that. You know, just give me that. And I want the Obi-Wan spin-off movie. And that's it.
I want that as well.
All I want. And I don't need the Obi-Wan spin-off movie to have Darth Maul in it. I would kind of like it, but I don't need that.
Alright, so, like, what I wanted, well, it's basically, it's impossible now, but I wanted something to do with Luke, first of all.
It's over.
Yeah,
I'm
that,
sorry.
that got thrown out the window.
I'm sorry, that is over. At least mine are still possible.
Mm-hmm.
You will never get yours.
Yeah.
It's over. Hey, Mark Hamill might appear in episode 9 as a ghost.
Yeah, but that's not what I want. I wanted to see a full-fledged Luke go ham.
I really wanted to see Luke training the New Order.
Mm-hmm.
The New Order of Jedi. And that's what I wanted episode 7 to have. When they announced episode 7, I was really jazzed about that. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, we're gonna get Luke training new Jedi, and then something's gonna happen, and then they're gonna have to, like, get good fast, and then Luke's probably gonna die in the last stand protecting his fucking academy. Like, it'll be really cool, and then
I would accept that death.
none of that shit. It's a hero's death.
Mm-hmm.
This was not a hero's death. This was a coward's death. This was a man trying to atone for his sins in the final moments of his life, but doing a really half-assed job. Fuck him, not my Luke. Hashtag not my Luke. I'm done with this Luke business. And so is Mark Hamill. So, you made me really depressed today.